Hello, dear friends. Today I'm here to share with you a bit of my winter struggles and how I use them to make myself stronger. It can be hard to hold on to faith in the final stretch of winter, but shifting into a mindset of gratitude can help tenfold. I'll share my story of inner growth from settling in struggle to breaking free, finding my inner voice and outer expression, and living a rich life. Motherhood is hard. Being a full-time mom is not easy, especially doing it alone, which is not the natural design of things. Winter can make you feel even more alone, and seasonal depression does not only affect you, it affects many, even those on social media who look like they have it all put together. But the first step to making your winters better is being aware of how you feel, accepting it, and then finding ways to prepare and deal with it on your own or with the help of your community and resources. It's like the seed or bulb of a flower. It rests in the darkness of the soil for a long time, and then it has to struggle up through the earth, the roots, and up out of the earth to reach the light. And then at just the right moment in time, it shows itself, it blossoms, and is ready to show itself to the world. So same with you. For any hardships or struggles you're going through, there is light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to continue to believe, and there's always hope. The end of winter is especially hard for me. I get really tired of the cold gray days. My house feels smaller with everybody's big boots and coats. There's ash everywhere from the wood stove. The holidays are long past, and the teases of spring make me feel ungrounded. The lack of movement and sunshine on my skin decreases my joyful energy. But what does help me is putting on uplifting music, lots and lots of baking, getting outside no matter how long it takes our entire family to get bundled up, which can be a struggle. But feeling the cold, fresh air on our faces is so refreshing, and coming back inside for tea time, a hot cocoa or chai is always super rewarding. When I used to live up in New Jersey, I started to realize and notice that my mood would plunder during the winter months, and this is one reason that my husband and I decided to move further south and enjoy shorter, more mild winters. But this year I was a little bit better at preparing for this long winter and breaking up the month of February with a weekend getaway at our friend's lake house. But besides that, we really do need to tap deeper into our creativity to fill our days and keep the kids motivated to get outside or make good use of their time. Having kids really forces you to do your best or do more for one another and yourself. It gives you more purpose in your day and gives you more of an excuse to go out or make a bigger meal or make muffins. It also forces you to work on your priorities and time management, for you don't always have all the time in the world for a long shower or just a chit chat with a friend. What I found is really just accepting where we're at, like accepting the season, accepting our home, even if it feels small at times. You know, there's a lot to be grateful for, and just seeing how good we do have it when you just allow yourself to marinate in it. It's also a good reminder for me, knowing that this restful time can really be so nourishing, and sometimes it helps us bond more as a family, and sometimes doing nothing is just what is needed, and actually that's doing a lot for our bodies and minds when we can just rest. So although we intentionally reduce our social engagements during the winter, it can be challenging because we are very social beings, but I'm reminded to soften. And when I worry, like, oh no, there's 3 more hours before bedtime, what are we all going to do? Letting go of that control and knowing that things can unfold organically, and that often the kids still just guide the direction in which we're going to go that evening. But in between the rest, we make sure to have little pockets of change and finding joyful, fun moments. So we went Irish dancing, we play musical chairs in the evenings, we go out for bagels from time to time just because it feels good to go out and do something different. But the more rest we do get in this season, then the more creative energy and excitement we have moving into the spring. And we always look forward to celebrating the spring equinox on March 21st, along with 4 birthdays out of the 6 of us. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about a thought I was having about, like, what's the difference between being grateful for where you're at, but then having desires and dreams and working towards something else. I think this arose because I'm often like, oh, we have it so good and this is great and I love our home. And then other times I'm like, this is way too small. I want this, I want that. Why can't I have more? So I feel there's a difference between living in gratitude and then just settling for where you're at. So for example, we can be grateful for a partner or a job, but it doesn't mean we have to stick with it and accept where we're at just because it's easy or comfortable. Happiness is wanting what you have, but it's also knowing when things need to shift or upgrade. So now I'm happily married. In fact, I didn't know how much more I would love my husband now than when we first found love. And I do believe it is worth it for married couples to work out their differences, and this can very much help you grow as a couple, connect deeper by working through hardships or disagreements. But in the case of relationships or jobs or hobbies that no longer serve you, we must learn to recognize when these things have become a problem or when we need to let go of them, shift, or surrender. We need to let go of things to make space for new and hopefully better things to come in our lives. Like, sometimes we think we have it so good and we're fine and content, but we don't know how much better it could be. Like, at the time, I thought my childhood was great, but I didn't know it could be like this. And this is where the dreaming, the beauty of dreaming and desires can come in and help us move forward when we are ready or need to. And this can be the same, for example, like with a boyfriend, you might think, oh, they're so great, or make excuses like, he loves me so much, but you don't really know how much greater someone else could be for you and how much more they can help you grow when you don't just settle. Or for example, with a job that's just like, okay, but it doesn't really fill you up, and you make excuses because you have good pay and it's easy just to stick with it. But when you don't just settle and you tune into your inner guidance, your inner compass, you can be led down paths you didn't even know possible. So here I ask you, what is it that you truly want? And why can't you have it? What limitations or excuses are you or others putting on yourself? In high school, I was often battling body image issues. I was really rigid and controlling, trying to overachieve. I would fill my schedule to the brim. I would even plan out my school outfits 1 week in advance. The only thing that gave me relief and made me feel a deep sense of peace and truth was in a deep state of meditation at the end of a yoga class that I was taking at my dance studio. I share this because I struggled for many years with terrible eating habits and seeking unrealistic, materialistic beauty and happiness. But because of that, it led me to a deeper inner healing and a discovery that I did have childhood pains that I needed to recognize, feel, work out, and process. And by following a path of yoga and meditation, it led me to traveling to and living in Southeast Asia and India and finding teachers and healers to help me become the person I wanted to be. I used to be shy and reserved, and then after years of doing various methods of healing and being inspired by people from all walks of life all around the world, I broke out of my shell. I could dance in public without holding back, even if I was the only one on the dance floor. I even sang in public on an open mic night, which for me was a really big moment.
Tree house with you. I wanna sing and dance in a tree house. Tree house.
Since I had not found or tapped into my voice for such a long time, it was a really shifting moment in my life, and I'll remember it forever. That time in the Himalayan mountains of India in a Tibetan cafe. I built the strength and confidence that I needed to travel as a solo woman in my mid-20s around the entire globe for 8 months with no schedule or plan. I just traveled with trust and was guided on the most remarkable, wild, and soul-nourishing adventures. After 6 years of traveling, my husband and I met and fell in love in India. It was the perfect timing in our lives. We were both 26, born 1 week apart, and after a month of dating, we jumped in and with trust committed to a life and love, raising a family and having a farm. So if you're ever feeling low or stuck or like, I can't do that, know that you are truly the only one stopping yourself, and you can break free from this, even if it seems impossible now. There is hope and there is light at the end of the tunnel, but faith is required, and it's in you somewhere, I promise. Or if you're comparing yourself to others and saying things like, I can't be like that person. Well, no, you can't, because they are them and you are you. And it's okay to get inspired by others, but who is it that you want to be, and what do you value? What makes you feel alive? So how can you help the world with your unique gift? And it's those little baby steps that will get you to where you want to be one day, as long as you continue believing in yourself and being your biggest cheerleader. My college roommate had a saying, and she would say, you do you. You do you. No one else can really stoke that fire within you as much as you can. And though it may be hard and it may be a struggle for you to communicate how you feel or apologize and forgive the people you need to, but there is time for darkness and there is a time for blossoming. And when you do commit to going down this path of inner healing, truth, and discovery, you will be greatly rewarded and reap the fruits for a long time after. So, you are the expert in your experience. Your feelings are valid. Feel them and move on when you're ready, so you can step into who you truly desire to be. Well, thank you for being here with me today. I would love to hear what helps you stay positive, or what creative ways you celebrate the winter months, and how you hold on to faith when times are hard. Okay, be sure to subscribe to stay connected.